Deep in the heart of Antarctica, a place where temperatures plummet to bone-chilling lows and ice reigns supreme, there's a hidden wonder waiting to be discovered. A small lake buried beneath the massive Larsen ice shelf. This subterranean oasis has remained a mystery until recently, when scientists drilled through miles of ice to unveil its secrets. What they found was truly remarkable. The water in this hidden lake was a staggering 64 degrees Fahrenheit, a balmy temperature in stark contrast to the freezing landscape above. But that's not all. There was another astonishing fact that left scientists scratching their heads. The water in this subglacial lake was teeming with life. Tiny crustaceans known as amphipods were found thriving in this isolated environment. These little creatures were not only alive, but they were doing something that seemed straight out of a science fiction movie, having sex while standing on their heads. Imagine a frigid, dark, oxygen-free environment where temperatures hover around the freezing mark. It might seem like the last place on Earth where you'd expect to find anything alive. Yet somehow, these crustaceans not only survived, but were actively reproducing. Scientists were baffled. It defied everything they knew about life. Life as we understand it needs oxygen. We need warmth. And we definitely need a nice, comfortable surface to stand on, right? So how were these crustaceans getting oxygen? Okay. And why were they hanging upside down while mating? Was it a new species? Had they evolved to survive in such harsh conditions? Was this behavior just bizarre? Or was it something else entirely? Scientists were eager to find out. Their findings suggested that these amphipods had evolved to survive in a unique way. They absorb oxygen through their skin and rely on the small amount of oxygen dissolved in the water around them. It's a slow and difficult process, but somehow they manage. As for their unusual mating ritual, well, it turns out that they do it just like that, because there's nowhere else to do it. The males grab the females with their large claws and flip them upside down. That's how they mate. So there you have it. Life finds a way. Even in the harshest environments, nature manages to adapt. But sometimes nature doesn't just defy our expectations, it blurs the line between life and death. Take, for example, the amazing tardigrade. It's also known as the water-bearer moss piglet. These microscopic creatures are the true survivors of the natural world. Tardigrades are able to enter a state called cryptobiosis, which allows them to survive in extremely harsh conditions. They can withstand temperatures as low as negative 450 degrees Fahrenheit and as high as 300 degrees Fahrenheit. They can survive in the vacuum of outer space and high levels of radiation. They can also survive without food or water for decades, thanks to their ability to slow down their metabolism to extremely low levels. Scientists believe that tardigrades have developed these abilities as a way to survive in extreme environments. They can be found in places like hot springs, deep sea vents, and even in the vacuum of space. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with lakes full of sex-crazed crustaceans? Well, both of these natural phenomena highlight the incredible adaptability and resilience of life. Both the amphipods and the tardigrades have found ways to survive in seemingly impossible conditions. And while their adaptations are very different, they both serve as reminders of the tenacity of life. But there's another surprising thing about the tardigrades. Like the amphipods, they too can live in complete darkness and still find a way to reproduce. Now you're probably thinking, okay, big deal, right? After all, we know that other animals can adapt to life in the dark. But the story doesn't end there. You see, tardigrades have a fascinating way of dealing with the lack of oxygen. They have a special trick up their tiny sleeves. When they're in a place where there's very little oxygen, they basically play a waiting game. They just chill out and wait for things to get better. But here's the kicker. They can do this for decades. Yep, decades. You heard me right. It's like they're on pause, waiting for things to get a little less. Well, sucky. And then when things improve, bam, they're back in action. But hold on a minute. How can they possibly do that? How can they just put their lives on pause and then pick up where they left off? Well, it's all about cryptobiosis, my friend. Cryptobiosis is a fancy scientific word for entering a state of suspended animation. And when I say suspended animation, I don't mean like a temporary nap. I mean a serious snooze fest. In this state, their metabolism slows down to almost zero, meaning they barely use any energy at all. And you're probably thinking, yeah, that sounds like a great way to save on your utility bills. But no, this is no joke. They literally slow down their life functions to such an extent that they become almost undetectable. Their heartbeat slows down to a crawl, Their breathing becomes almost imperceptible, and they basically enter a state of hibernation. It's like they're dead, but they're not really. They're just playing the waiting game. In a nutshell, they're basically waiting out the bad times until things get better. And guess what? This strategy works. These little guys have been known to survive without food or water for over 10 years. And let me tell you, that's a long time to be on pause. Like imagine ordering your morning coffee and the barista tells you, "Sorry, we're closed for the next decade." You probably lose your mind, right? But these guys just chill out in their little cryptobiotic slumber, waiting it out like champs. Now you might be thinking, okay, big deal. We've seen animals adapt to extreme environments before. But here's the thing. The tardigrades aren't just any ordinary animals. They're microscopic creatures that look like tiny teddy bears under a microscope. I mean, seriously, just look at them. They're so cute. It's hard to imagine them being so tough, but they are. And their cuteness is part of the reason why we've been studying them so much lately. By studying these little guys, we've been able to learn more about how life can adapt to extreme environments. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to apply those lessons to help ourselves survive in the great cosmic ocean. So next time you're feeling a little stressed out about life, just remember the mighty tardigrade and take a deep breath. Remember, no matter how tough things get, you can always just hit pause and wait for things to get better. Dum 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 dum. Just like a microscopic hero from a sci-fi movie, you have the ability to survive anything. All you need is a little patience and a lot of inner strength. And hey, who knows? Maybe you'll even discover a new way to survive in the vast emptiness of space. After all, who knows what other secrets nature is hiding? Now, tardigrades have been found floating in the depths of space. They've been sent into orbit by scientists just to prove that they can survive the vacuum of space. And guess what? They come back alive. It's like they have a personal spaceship that takes them to the coolest places in the universe. Can you imagine a group of microorganisms having their own space program? Yeah, it's pretty insane. That's just a glimpse of what these little critters can do. And did I mention that they can also survive radiation levels thousands of times higher than what would kill a human? Yep, they're basically the superheroes of the microbial world. Speaking of radiation, it's a known killer of cells. But in 2005, researchers at the University of Tokyo found that a particular strain of E. coli bacteria could resist up to 1,500 times the lethal dose of radiation. That's some serious superpower stuff. But wait, it gets even crazier. Another study showed that a single cell could divide into two after exposure to a massive dose of ionizing radiation. Yeah, that's right. They literally split in half and made two whole new organisms out of one. It's like they're Wolverine, but for bacteria. Talk about a radioactive makeover. And then there's the extremophile, a type of organism that can thrive in conditions that would normally kill off most life forms. For example, there is a species of bacteria that lives near deep-sea volcanic vents, where the temperature can reach up to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt lead, but it's just another Tuesday for these little guys. And let's not forget about the famous case of the nematode worms that were found to be alive after being frozen for 39 years. Yep, you heard me right. They just woke up after almost 4 decades of being iced. It's like they were in a never-ending cryogenic sleep and decided to party once they thawed out. But what does all this mean for us humans? Well, for starters, it shows us that life really can thrive in some of the most extreme environments imaginable. It also means that there is still so much that we do want to know about the universe and the amazing things that are out there. Who knows what other crazy things we'll discover if we keep looking. Maybe one day we'll find life on other planets that can survive things we can't even dream of. And maybe, just maybe, we'll learn a thing or two from them. So the next time you feel like things are getting a little tough, just remember the microorganisms that can survive anything. And hey, who knows, maybe you'll find a way to level up your own superpowers too. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.